welcome to the Mercury Cafe. Thank you for all of you being here. We don't want to turn people away. We are maintaining this aisle right here. That's really great. The aisle where you all are standing is a fire aisle. So there's nowhere really for you to be. Just keep in mind there's an exit here and there's an exit at the stair. I don't assume that we're going to have to exit in an emergency. But if we were, don't panic, stay orderly, and walk down the stairs orderly and quietly, and the back exit back here orderly and quietly. We don't want to turn people away. We're almost as many people here as Ralph Nader running for the Green Party in the year 2000, but we just want to keep everybody safe. Thank you so much.
What's this thing over here? All right. My name's Arn Menconi, and I'm your next U.S. Senator from the great state of Colorado. Yeah, this crowd is fired up, man. Yeah. So she was talking about leaving gracefully, and I'm going to talk about a 911. We have an emergency. It's called a revolution, and Colorado's going to deliver. Are we not? I'm going to ask a couple questions throughout. Soul thinks he wants to make people uncomfortable. He may not have heard me speak before. All right? Because I'm seriously outraged about what's going on in this country. And the only way to turn it around is to get me and Jill elected to Congress in the U.S. presidency. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm talking too loud. This is going to be a problem. I'm not shouting. I'm Italian. This is how we talk. All right? All right. So, when I say we've got a revolution, when Jill says, when Bernie says we've got a revolution does not reform, it overthrows the system. It overthrows the system, not through process, but by getting things done. So we have 75 days left to get the job done. 75 days in Colorado. And I like to repeat myself, so you repeat what I have to say. We need 600,000 votes in the state of Colorado in order to elect me and get Jill elected from the state of Colorado. Can you do that? Are you with me? Are you going to work on getting 600? Are you really? Are you seriously? Because you know what? When I jumped in this race, I did not know what I was getting myself into. All right? Little story about myself. I'm a dad. I'm a single dad, and I've got two kids, Maya and Mateo. Maya's going into genius land. Actually, she's going into 6th grade. And Mateo is going into 4th grade. Wow. And I live up in Carbondale. Carbondale is 200 miles away from here. All right? So I'm driving around the state, talking to people like you, trying to figure out what you're concerned about. And people like you are saying you're fired up and you want change and you believe that I could bring it home. Now what I'm saying to you is I'm working hard, not for us, for the voices that are not being heard, for the voices that don't know how to lift them up and be heard about the oppression that Sol was talking about. So that means we all here have to sign up on these booths afterward and make sure that you knock on or call 1,000 people. To get 600,000 people to vote in favor of what you believe in takes you working 10 hours a week if I'm working 100 hours a week. So I have an MBA from the University of Colorado. If you can measure it, you can manage it. So put your hand up in the air if you're going to make that promise. This is an altar call, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we call an altar call. All right. So I haven't got you all fired up yet. So let me go into what I have to say. I was a 2-term Eagle County Commissioner. The Republicans only tried to recall me twice, because that's all you get, 1 per term. The first time was because I took a non-aggressive stance on Afghanistan in 2001. Right? So I'm not trying to say I feel vindicated, I'm outraged. For 15 years, we've been fighting a war. For 15 years, we've spent trillions of dollars, killed millions of people, all for democracy, all against the war against terrorism. We're being lied to. We're being lied to death. And the reason I'm in this race is to save lives. So I want you to knock on doors because I want you to know I'm doing this because I want to save innocent lives. So I get arrested in Washington, D.C. when John Kerry says to the Foreign Relations Committee what and why we're in the Middle East. I stand up with Code Pink. I get arrested for the things that I believe in, like Black Lives Matter. Like standing and sitting down in front of AIPAC in Washington, D.C. when Donald Trump is about to present so that people can't get into the center because our country should not be giving $5 billion a year to a country that is occupying the Gaza Strip. Are you with me on that? I'm willing to go to fracking sales of leases and almost get arrested because I am not bought and sold by oil and gas like Michael Bennett is in Frackenhofer and my old friend Ken Salazar. So that's what I will do. That's what I will do. As a father, a single father, I will fly to New York on the 27th when Jill Stein is trying to get into the debates, and I will lay down and get arrested with Jill. Right? Not knowing where they put me, not knowing how much it will cost, not knowing whether it will be a felony, not knowing if it will prevent me from getting a job to support my children. Because I want to stop our country from killing innocent people. So I could do a 24-hour vigil out in front of a federal correction center for Jeffrey Sterling so that a doctor will get him the help that he needs because he's sitting in jail and I get to sit in my car and talk to you guys and drive here and go home. He doesn't get that. He can't even get a doctor, a whistleblower, a man who was a CIA agent. My friends are CIA agents who go to jail to try to represent that we're being lied to death. So, you all are the choir. I am preaching to the choir, and your job is to sing. You get it? You have to sing on message about how we're going to get 600,000 votes. Even you people back, way back, who are on your second Bloody Mary. All right? So I must be sounding real good to you. All right? Is that your job is to get to work and focus on the goal. There's a lot of things that we could be fixing after November 8th. We could even figure out whether or not they're going to start Sanchez after November 8th. All right? Whoever he is. So, I have an MBA. I was a 2-term Eagle County Commissioner. Passed a lot of things as a Democrat. I worked with Udall and Salazar and Ritter and a bunch of different people. And I ran a national charity, the thing I'm second most proud of next to my children, that was for disadvantaged youth. I started it out called the Snowboard Outreach Society because I'm a rebel. I snowboard, right? So people were upset that there were snowboarders in the world. And so that was in 1993 when there was gangbanging in Denver and in LA and other places. And I thought this was stupid. We need to be able to get people up from the inner city and on top of a mountain and be able to feel what it's like to ride down from the top of a mountain. So I've been to the mountaintop. I know what it looks like, the promised land. It's called Vail and Aspen, all right? And when you live in Vail and Aspen, you realize that you have responsibility because you've been blessed to fight for other people. So I was blessed to run that charity for 20 years until a little company called Vail Resorts said, either he goes or we go, because I was speaking out against Israel and what they were doing against Palestine. Because I was giving Barack Obama heck in Washington because he was taking us back in the Middle East in July of 2014 without authorization for military force. I was getting upset with Mark Udall, my friend, who was running for U.S. Senate because he wasn't coming out against the war in the Middle East. You can't be a little pregnant, folks. Our country continues to go back into the Middle East and say they're fighting a war against terrorism. What they're doing are they're merchants of death. They're spending trillions of dollars, our dollars, to make other people rich, to kill innocent people. Do you know that in the last 24 hours, Turkey, a NATO ally, supposedly, run by a dictator, in my opinion, just went into Syria and 20 innocent people were killed in the last 24 hours. So as I stand here, innocent people are being killed by the largest exporter of terrorism called the United States of America. So that's how I make people uncomfortable. I talk about what's happening. And if you don't like it, then go and vote for a guy who's taking $14 million from corporations, the oil corporations, the finance corporations, big pharma, big agriculture, and the military-industrial complex. Those are the 5 places where politicians spend 5 hours a day trying to get money in order to represent them, not us. We have to put people matters more than profits. Right? 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 So, how many people are going to vote for somebody who is going to stop the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership? Stand up. Or should I say, who's not? Who's going to vote in favor of raising minimum wage in Colorado to $12 an hour, even though it should be $15 an hour, because we're not going to let perfect be the enemy of the good. And let me just touch on details here, folks. I was a county commissioner, a Democratic county commissioner who got Democratic county commissioners elected after me, and I went to them and tried to get them to take a position on $15 an hour. All right? They still haven't taken a position on $15 an hour in Eagle County, Colorado. So we're taking a position on $12 an hour because we have a Governor Hickenlooper, Frackenlooper, whatever you want to call him. I call him Frackenlooper, who is taking money from Big Pharma and others to do something called raise the bar. And we have to stop raise the bar, because if raise the bar passes, referendums will be harder and harder to get on the ballot, like $12 an hour, like Colorado Cares, like legalizing marijuana, all right, and whatever else. So they're lying to you when they're saying they don't want to attach special interest groups to the Constitution. They are a special interest group, and our job is to make them tell the truth. So, we have also on the ballot, and I saw some hands go up with some signs, Who here is in favor of 69 universal health care? Now, I would like to hear some stories afterwards, but I broke my hand mountain biking, and I've got something called Obamacare, and it costs $750 a month for me to have a $5,000 deductible. And my children are on Medicaid, so when Maya needs to see a specialist, I have to drive 200 miles down to Littleton and 200 miles back, and then back down here to be in Colorado Springs. Because we have like third world healthcare in our country, and Colorado could be the leader in the nation for paving the way for a federal program for universal health care when Jill Stein becomes the next president of the United States. That's how it works. That's how it works. All right, so I'm going to wrap up with the final part, and I need some class participation. All right? How many people are going to sign up to get Green Party candidates elected in Colorado so we have 1,000 people stand up? All right, wait a second, not everybody's standing up. What do you want to hear, a hunk of burning lung or something? All right, so you guys, thank you very much. Thank you for fighting and being part of the revolution. Thank you for speaking for the voices that can't be heard, because our country is being run by something that I like to call the global corporate mafia. Lauren, what is it called? The global corporate mafia. And the global corporate mafia is what Chris Hedges calls corporate totalitarianism. Corporate totalitarianism is spending billions of dollars buying off people like Michael Bennett, who will not come out and against the TPP, who will not speak against fracking, who will not support 69, who will not get free college, who will not waive the debt of college students, who will not come out and reinstate Glass-Steagall. He will vote for a military budget. He will facilitate the wants and needs of big pharma, big ag, oil and gas, the finance industry. He'll even go so far as to say he's in favor and pass and vote in favor of the Iran deal, and then try to pass legislation to stop governmental groups that are boycotting Israel. So we're being lied to death. I spent 10 days with Daniel Ellsberg. He broke it down for me. The Vietnam War, was it a just war? No. Was it a just war? No. How many people died during the Vietnam War? About 6 million just through what Khmer Rouge did. How many people was the Iraq War a just war? No. Do you think the perpetual war that our children's children are going to be asked to fight and spend for, the one that's going to make our empire fall into decline, is going to be a just war? No. So those of you who are still thinking whether or not you'd like to campaign to get the people represented with somebody who's as fired up as I am, that will hire lawyers and CPAs to reveal what is going on in the military budget and how we're being lied to death. Think about those type of things, because I was somebody who was still trying to work inside of the Democratic Party until enough of enough was about how many 60 million people going to sleep in refugee camps every night. People getting killed in Doctor Without Border hospitals by our airplanes. And then global warming, being told that there's a bridge to global warming called fracking and natural gas. We don't have time to wait. We have 75 days to fight. And on the 76th day, take a break. Thank you very much. Peace. Please sign up. Please put these stickers on the back of your car. And please help raise money for the revolution. Thank you all for being here. Let's make this revolution historic.
Why would you vote for Michael Bennett after hearing this now? Yay! Anything you can do.